ओके जी सो कल वाली क्लास में आई टोल्ड यू सिंपल एंड बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट्स ऑफ मोल्स ओके के आई टोल्ड यू four formulae of moles. First one was mass upon mr, and then volume upon 24 decimeter cube for gases, okay. And then for number of particles, I told you that particle is a general term which is used for molecules, atoms, and ions, or then concentration times volume. Okay. Then you have to identify by yourself in which question you are going to use which relationship. Okay. Mass upon mr कब use करना है, then volume over 24, then particles, then concentration times volume. So of course you have to identify the value by its unit. If you can see any one of them, okay, so means that the concentration is given to you. And if you can see cm cube or dm cube, so means that the volume is given, or and if the value is given in terms of grams or ton or kilograms or milligrams, okay, so means that the mass is given to you. Then you have to decide, okay, which formula I'm supposed to use, okay. And we did some questions as well. So today we are going to discuss stoichiometry. It's a branch of chemistry, okay, that deals with the calculation of the product, amount of the product. Let's suppose how much reactant you have and what you are going to form, how much reactant you have and what you are going to form, and how much you are going to form. Basically, it's a relationship between reactant and product. Okay. It's a relationship between reactant and product. I have to make a tea for 15%. Of course, I need ingredients, including milk, or sugar, tea. Okay, these are the things that I need to have. Then I would be mixing them together, and obviously, I can make a tea for 15%. Okay, so it's a relationship between reactant and product. So we can use in this way. Okay, this is milk, this is person. One milk, 1 liter, 1 liter milk is enough to make tea for 5%. Okay. 1 liter milk is enough to make a tea for 5%. How much milk I would require if we have 15%? This is called unitary method, as I told you yesterday, okay, in the last class. This is called unitary method. We can do the same unit in stoichiometry as well, okay? After cross multiplying, I will come to know, okay, I need 3 liters milk, which would be enough for 15%. This is called stoichiometry. Okay. How we are going to apply this on simple questions, and what is mean by the term mole ratio? Okay, this is very important thing. Of course, you know from IGCSE, it's not new thing for you. You know what is mole ratio? Like it's the ratio between the given thing and required thing. Let's suppose equation is given to you, okay, or you have to find the mole of Fe and the moles of carbon monoxides are given to you. Hmm? Okay. According to equation, according to equation, 2 moles of Fe produced by 3 moles of CO. Listen very carefully. Listen very carefully. From equation, I can say, or or from from equation from equation I can write that 2 moles of Fe produced produced by 3 moles of CO. 3 moles of CO. Okay. How much moles would be produced of iron? Okay. X moles of iron would be produced by, okay, by 0.06 moles of CO. Okay, right? So it's a shortcut. It's a shortcut. If you want to write these wordings, it's also good. It's up to you. But if you want to do this in this way, so it's also good. Okay. So after cross multiplying, of course, the x would be equal to moles of Fe. Moles of Fe. This is called stoichiometry. Okay. First of all, you have to look at the equation and you have to see the mole ratio. But of course, in the same equation, you will see a lot of reactants and a lot of products, like more than one reactant and more than one product frequently, most of the time. So this is the frequently asked question, okay, which value we are supposed to consider. The question will tell you, like in this question, they are asking the moles of iron and they have given the moles of carbon monoxide. So of course I have to consider this and this. I will not consider this and this. Remember, this is very important to know. I will not consider this and this. Okay, this is very important to know, right? Uh, Now you can see this equation is given to you, and I have given you the moles of calcium nitrate, and I'm asking the moles of oxygen, of course, according to equation. We have to consider this and this. I will not consider nitrogen dioxide and calcium oxide. Okay. So I have only written this and this since the mole ratio between calcium nitrate and oxygen is 1 and 1 and 1 and 1.5. Of course, this is 0.5. And the moles of calcium nitrate is given to you. That is this, and this would be X. You have to cross multiply this, and then you will get the moles of oxygen. Okay, simple. Ab, moreover, you will see in different questions, sometime they would be giving you moles, they would be asking moles. In some questions, they would be giving you mass, they would be asking mass. In some questions, they would be giving you concentration and volume, they would be asking the mass. In some questions, they would be giving you the volume and they would be asking the mass. So it depends on the question. What you have to do, the universal method is to convert everything into the mole. Everything into the mole. Let me tell you some question. Let me tell you some question from the past paper. Okay. Uh, you can see in this question. Okay. Let me solve this again. In this question, what they are asking, and what they have given to you. The most important thing in stoichiometry is to identify which value you have to consider. Of course, in your equation, you have the four things, two in the reactant side and two in the product side. So, of course, we have to take one thing and another thing we have to find out. Okay. So, if you can see this, volume of hydrogen is required and grams of sodium is given to you. Of course, this and this. Of course, this and this. Okay. I will not consider this and this. So first of all, this is the preliminary step to do these type of questions is to consider what is given to you and what is required. Okay, it will ease your, like you can say, working. Hmm? So the grams is given to you, that is mass. Of course, I told you, okay, whenever you can see the grams with any number, so it means that this is the mass which is given to you. Okay, so first of all, you have to convert this into the moles. So mole is equal to, so mole is equal to mass over mr. Mass is given to you, that is 2.3, and atomic mass of sodium is 23 from the periodic table. So the moles are zero point 0.1. It's a mole of sodium. Okay, it's a mole of sodium, right? Then we have to identify, we have to calculate the moles of hydrogen. Then we have to calculate the moles of hydrogen. So of course we have to apply the mole ratio. Of course we have to apply the mole ratio. Since the mole ratio between sodium and hydrogen is 1 is to half. Half bole to 0.5. Okay, according to equation, this is the 1. The coefficient is 1 and the coefficient is half, or I can say 0.5. So I have calculated the moles of Na, that is 0.1. So what would be the moles of hydrogen? Okay, so can you tell me an answer? Okay, X would be equal to 0.1 into 0.5 divided by 1. Can you tell me an answer? 0.05
0.05.
moles
Yes.
of hydrogen. Moles of hydrogen, right? Okay. Or then I have to calculate the volume, but in cm cube. So I would be applying the formula. Okay. That is volume is equal to mole multiplied by 24,000 centimeter cube. Of course, the moles are 0.05 and the molar volume is this. So what's the answer? Mm-hmm. क्या आंसर है? Yes,
C.
C. Yeah, 1200. This is the volume. Yeah, try to do this question. Try to do this question. Then I would be telling you how to do this.
Is it 0.84 grams?
Mm, 0.84 grams. Okay. Yeah, good. Good, 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 good. So initially the volume is given to you in cm cube. Of course, you have to apply the formula, that is volume over 24,000 centimeter cube. Okay. Then I would be getting the moles of CO2. I told you that for gases we can apply this formula since the volume is given to you. I can calculate the moles of carbon dioxide. Then the mole ratio between this and this is 1:1. And before doing this question, you have to identify which, like, what is the thing that you have to consider. Of course, you have to consider the given and the required thing. Okay, the another, like, rest of the things are unnecessary. Like, we would not be including in our calculation. Okay, so the mole ratio between CO2 and magnesium carbonate is 1:1. Of course, the moles are same. So I'm considering that 0.01 moles of magnesium carbonate. Now they are asking the mass of magnesium carbonate. So mass is equal to Mr. Moles. MR of magnesium carbonate is given to you. That is 84.3. Then I'm getting the mass of magnesium carbonate. That is 0.843 grams. Okay. आसान है आसान है सी बी पार्ट सी बी पार्ट यस
1.05 grams.
1.05 grams. Okay. 1.0. Okay. No. First of all, you have to calculate the mole. I told you that this is the universal method. You have to find out the moles first. Whether you are given the mass, whether you are given the volume, whether you are given the concentration, whether you are given the particles, the molecules, the atoms, the ions, you have to calculate the moles first. Okay. After calculating the moles, that is concentration times volume. If concentration and volume you have, so you can multiply them together. Okay, just like that. 50 cm cube. I have to convert this in dm cube. I'm just supposed to divide it by 1,000. So this is C and this is V. I would be getting the moles of HCl. Okay. Uh, then the same equation. Then the same equation, according to the equation, the mole ratio between magnesium carbonate and HCl is 1:2. I got the moles of HCl that is 0.0125. So I am going to find out the moles of magnesium carbonate. That is X. That is X. Okay. So 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 then this is the moles of X, that is magnesium carbonate. They are asking the mass. So mass is equal to Mr. Moles. MR of magnesium carbonate, that is 84.3. Then I would be getting the mass of magnesium carbonate, that is 0.527. That is 0.527. Okay. Simple है, आसान है, easy है. Uh, Now see this question. Mhm. Mhm.
Is it 0.45?
0.45, they are asking the volume, okay, in the dm cube. And they have given you the moles, so it would save your step. Okay. Directly you can apply the mole ratio between O2 and SO3 because they have given the moles of O2 and they are asking the volume of SO3, that is sulfur trioxide. Okay, the mole ratio between O2 and SO3 is 3 is to 2. 3 is to 2. I have the moles of O2. I want to find out the moles of SO3. So after applying the like after cross multiplying, I got the moles of SO3. That is this. Okay. Then I am going to find out the volume. Volume would be equal to moles times 24. Moles are this, and then times 24 decimeter cube. Then I would be getting the volume. Then I would be getting the volume. Okay. That is this. So C is your correct option. So C is your correct option. Okay. Uh, mhm, See this question. जल्दी 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 करो जल्दी जल्दी फटाफट. Mhm. Should I tell you this? First of all, you have to calculate the moles of phosphorus pentachloride, that is PCl5. Mass is given to you 1.04. The molecular mass is 208. Okay, so first of all, I found the moles of PCl5, that is mass over MR. I got the moles of PCl5, then obviously the mole ratio between PCl5 and hydrochloric acid is 1 is to 5. If I have moles of PCl5 that is equal to 0.005, what would be the moles of HCl? That is X after cross multiplying, I would be getting the moles of HCl. So they are asking the concentration वो भी in moles per dm cube. I got the moles of HCl. I need the volume that is given to you. That is one. है ना? That is one. So 0.025 over 1 is equal to 0.025. That's the reason option C is correct. It's very easy question. Okay, it's very easy question. Mhm. Uh, see this, see this question. Okay, they have given you the volume of oxygen that is 120 centimeter cube. Okay, 120 centimeter cube of oxygen, and they are asking the moles of sodium chlorate that is NaClO3. Okay, so first of all, you have to find out the moles of oxygen, volume over 24,000 centimeter cube. This is the moles of oxygen. Then I have to find out the moles of sodium chlorate. So the mole ratio is 3 is to 2. 3 is to 2. Then I got the moles of oxygen. That is this. Then what would be the moles of sodium chlorate? After cross multiplying, I would be getting the moles of sodium chlorate. They are asking the moles. Okay, simple. So that's why B is your correct option. आसान है, इजी है, बहुत इजी है. ओके, बहुत इजी है ये. सेट है जी, ओके है. So then uh, let's see some question. Okay, let's see some questions. Okay, okay. Mhm, mhm. किंग कौन है भाई? ये किंग कौन है? अपने नाम से आओ बेटा. वो इस किंग अभी रिमूव कर दूंगा बेटा, फिर ज्वाइन भी नहीं हो सकोगे. जल्दी बताओ. अहमद तुम हो? ओके, नो इशू. यस सर. ओके ओके ओके. क्वेश्चन 86 देखना जरा फटाफट.
हाँ
अहमद व्हाट्सएप चेक करो.
सर, व्हाट्सअप 3 महीने से चेक करा, अभी तक रिसीव
व्हाट्सएप
नहीं हुआ.
देखो जरा. बट इसके लिए यू मस्ट नो द इक्वेशन फॉर द थर्मल decomposition of calcium nitrate. Okay, as we did in organic chemistry. Okay, so I told you कि calcium nitrate की decomposition would be giving you calcium oxide, है ना, and nitrogen dioxide. Okay, और oxygen. calcium oxide, then nitrogen dioxide, and oxygen. I'm writing this, then you have to calculate. Calcium nitrate, calcium nitrate gives you calcium oxide plus NO2 plus half O2. This is balanced equation. This is balanced equation, okay? Mass of anhydrous calcium nitrate is given to you. Anhydrous calcium nitrate is given to you. And you have to find out, and you have to find out the mass of solid residue can be obtained. Of course, solid residue is calcium oxide because rest of the products are gases. Rest of the products are gases. Okay. So you can calculate the mass of calcium oxide. Simple. फटाफट जल्दी 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 जल्दी. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's the answer? जल्दी 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 भाई. Mole ratio is 1 is to 1, okay? Mole ratio is 1 is to 1 between calcium nitrate and calcium oxide. Mole ratio is 1 is to 1, okay? 1 is to 1. Yeah. Haji, anyone? No? Iman Sajjad, Iman Amir, Hafsa, Irtada, Sophia, Tala, Zaina. What's the answer?
C.
Hmm? B for ball? C or C for
No.
cat? Okay.
C for
Cat.
cat.
Okay. Uh, can you tell me the molecular mass of calcium nitrate and calcium oxide? I think calcium oxide is 56. I think so. I think, yeah. And what's the molecular mass for calcium nitrate? Hmm.
164.1.
164.1 grams. So the mass of anhydrous is given to you, that is 4.10. This would be X. You can cross multiply this. This is also one of the method. If the mass is given to you and mass is required, if the mass is given to you and the mass is required, so you can do this method. Mhm. Answer is same. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Good हो गया जी. Good हो गया. Good हो गया. Okay. You will see like questions related to stoichiometry, but the main thing is that you have to
apply the mole ratio. That is the most important thing, okay? And also you must know equations. Sometime they are not giving you equation like in this question. So of course, before like without equation, how can you apply the mole ratio? So you must know the decomposition equations of nitrate and carbonates. Then you can solve the question. Okay. Also, they can ask the balanced equation. Like you can see, it's October, November, paper 1, 2, and 2011, question number 2. When correctly balanced, which equation requires one of letters W, X, Y, or Z to be 5? Okay, so of course you have to first balance this, and then you can see your answer. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Now see this. Uh, B part, question number 4. First of all, you have to solve A, state the overall equation for the reaction between acidified dichromate ions and ethane dioic acid. In this, they are going to ask overall equation. Overall equation means that you have to add them together. Okay. So I told you when we were discussing redox, like when you are going to add these two equations together, of course, electrons must be cancelled. In the first equation, we have 6 electrons. In the second equation, we have 2 electrons, of course. I have to multiply the second equation by 3. So that would be 3. That would be 3. Then 3 into 2 is 6. Then 3 into 2 is 6. And then 3 into 2 is 6. Then I'm going to add them together, electron, electron cancelled. So rest of the things are Cr2O72 minus plus 3H2C2O4, then 14H plus, and then we have 6CO2, then 2Cr3 plus, then 7H2O, and then 6H plus. Okay. So now you can see, okay. Uh, mhm, mhm. Okay. Now see this question. It's easy, easy, easy. ट्राई करो फिर मैं बताता हूँ ओके
6.4 into 10 to the power minus 4.
6.4 into 10 to the power minus 4. Okay. Uh, okay. Let me do this first. In an experiment, 0.242 gram sample of hydrated ethane dioic acid was reacted with a 0.02 mole per decimeter cube solution of acidified this is the concentration for potassium dichromate, 32.0 centimeter cube of acidified, and this is the volume of potassium dichromate. They are asking the moles of dichromate, of course. Of course. Okay. I have to calculate the moles of dichromate. Okay, that is equal to the concentration times volume. Volume को dm cube में convert कर लो. Of course, you have to divide it by 1000. What's the answer? What's the answer? Mm-hmm.
6.4 times 10 to the power minus 4.
6.4 times 10 to the power.
-4.
Okay, moles आ गए. Then what is the mole ratio between dichromate and ethane dioic acid? That is 1 is to 3. Dichromate and ethane dioic acid. That is 1 is to 3. I have moles of dichromate. That is this. I have to find out the moles of ethane dioic acid. Okay, so what's the answer? Mm-hmm.
1.92 times 10 to the power -3.